Hello, my name's Torian Edwards. I'm with We Are Wisconsin Network. We're one of the groups putting this fight together inside of this district, Northwest Milwaukee, Senate District 8. It's a powerful group of individuals who have decided that they're tired of not being listened to. They're tired of not being heard, and they're ready to take a stand. What we're standing behind today, or standing in front of today, is the former Brown Deer Park and Ride. Once a hub of transportation to this neighborhood, something that empowered this community and gave them access to jobs, family, downtown, and the rest of their community. But we're facing cuts today because of Governor Walker's budget and Senator Alberta Darling's neglect that will disenfranchise this community even further, taking away their access, taking away people's access to paratransit, public transit, highway flyers, all the things necessary to unite a community. Budgets can take communities apart or bring them together. What we're here pulling for today and pushing for today is a budget that reflects the true values of this community and the true values of Milwaukee and the true values of Wisconsin. So who I'm bringing up first is Miss Miss Diggins. I'm sorry. Thank you.
I'm Devlin Diggins, and I'm here because the transportation has affected me, as far as me having my job. The job route that I was going to, the route that I was taking to go to my job was discontinued, which didn't allow me to be able to get to the job. I had to take a cab or pay somebody, which became very expensive. That way, I lost my job, and every other job that I'm looking for that's in my field is out of the city of Milwaukee. There's no transportation going out there, and there's no way for me to get out there to get to these jobs. And I'm against Scott Walker, and we need our routes to go where we can get to the jobs and where the jobs are.
That's right! That's right.
We're here sharing stories of disenfranchisement, stories of community. The next person I'd like to bring up is Miss Jackie Ivey of the NAACP and also the We Are Wisconsin Network. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm here to say that Milwaukee bus riders are being boxed in by service cuts. A decade of service cuts to Milwaukee-based transit system, which had few connections to suburban job centers to begin with, and you just heard Devlin speak about that, has resulted us in being boxed in. Milwaukee bus riders are boxed in into areas with little to no economic opportunities in America's fourth poorest city. Now our state is saying that Milwaukee bus riders need to be further isolated from economic opportunities in outlying areas. Milwaukee bus riders have had enough. We want full access to outlying job centers. Transportation is a civil right. Thank you.
Next up, Mr. Keith Crum of the Milwaukee Transit Riders Union.
Hello, my name is Keith Crum. Came here just to basically just demonstrate our frustration with being just left behind in terms of the transportation issue in this state. This Scott Walker is planning on cutting 10% of Milwaukee County's funding assistance for transit. At the same time, hundreds of millions of dollars are being introduced into the transportation fund for highway expansion projects, for stuff that doesn't benefit this community at all. And he's even, at the same time of increasing this fund, moving money out of it for transit, moving transit to the general purpose revenue fund, so that we'll be faced with more and more service cuts like this behind us down the road. This makes no sense. We have the money there, we have the resources there. Don't bus riders matter in this equation? Don't we have a point in this? Can't we get our share of this funding? We got to stand up and we got to say no. You know, we can't stand by and let this happen while they keep on isolating us from the suburban areas with jobs, from more and more areas of economic opportunity. We just can't.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crum. The next person up is the ATU, Ms. Penny Secure.
Mister. This is frustrating. Very frustrating. Not only as a representative from the transit union, this is home for me almost literally. This park and ride lot, back when I was in middle school, used to serve as my way to getting down to Market University in the Upper Bound program. This was a 49, the Route 49, and it got me downtown. It got me down to the inner city, to the YMCA where I worked, and it was a quick trip. I had more than one option to get down there. I had many options. This was my way to prosperity, my way to success. This is home for me because this is literally my neighborhood. I grew up literally on this block, literally. And I've seen what cutting access to jobs does to a neighborhood. Look at my neighborhood. It's on the decline. Why? Because they say, well, you don't have that bus, walk a few more blocks to another bus. But if you're commuting from here downtown, it's no longer a 40-minute trip. It's about an hour to an hour and a half. Right. So during the course of a week to survive, you're giving up about 2 work days. Literally, about 10 to 16 hours a week just to survive. This is ridiculous.
That's right.
They're taking the transit out of the transportation fund. Why? To do the exact same thing that they're doing on the county level. Forcing us to fight for transit funds with every other program in the entire state. This is ridiculous.
That's right.
This is unconscionable. I said it at the joint finance hearing. How does a party that used to call itself the moral majority have such contempt for poor people, for the disabled, for the elderly?
That's right.
King said it is an insult to tell a bootless man to pick himself up by his bootstraps. How do you tell people that want to work to go get a job when they can't get to it? This is ridiculous. And I'm calling on everybody to tell Scott Walker and Alberta Darling, thanks, but no thanks. It is time for change. And Sandy Pash in this district is that change.
Yes.
Thank you.
All
right. Good. The next group we're bringing up to speak is Citizen Action in Milwaukee. Thank you.
I kind of want to have a chant because I like to chant a lot. So I'm going to say, what do we want? If folks can say transit, when do we want it? Now. What do we want?
Transit!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Transit!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Transit!
When do we want it?
Now!
All right, now that's how I like it. I want to let everybody know that we're coming to their doors. So my name is Jennifer Epps, and I'm an organizer with Good Jobs and Livable Neighborhoods, which is a project of Wisconsin Citizen Action. And I grew up just a few blocks from here as well, from this spot. And when I grew up here, it looked a lot different. Northridge was open, and this park and ride was open. But today, many of the residents and many of the businesses in this district are closed. And the residents of Milwaukee's far northwest side have faced yearly cuts in the transit service that connects them to jobs, to education, to entertainment, and to economic opportunity. But this year's budget proposal is worse than ever before. Governor Walker and Joint Finance Committee Chair Senator Alberta Darling are aiming directly at the economic security of the northwest side of Milwaukee residents and taking their best shot. Someone maybe should remind them that not everyone in Milwaukee has to be to work at 9 a.m. and gets off at 5 p.m. Cutting early morning in late evening service threatens the economic security of working families in Senator Darling's district in the deepest way possible. How can you work if the bus closes before you can get home to take care of your kids? In today's economy, it makes no economic sense for Governor Walker and Senator Darling to push cuts that deny access to employment for hard-working families. At Good Jobs and Livable Neighborhoods, we know that increased access to public transit is directly connected to ensuring that all Wisconsinites have equal access to employment and good jobs. That is why we stand with We Are Wisconsin, with ATU, with the NAACP, and with Milwaukee Transit Riders Union to say no to Governor Walker and Senator Darling's cuts to public transit. We say no.
No.
We say
No.
We say
No.
Thank you.
All right.
So what you saw is a message to Senator Darling, to Scott Walker, to the state of Wisconsin, and the rest of this country. This community will not be silent anymore. We will not be quiet. We will come for you, and we will leave messages at your doorstep, in your mailbox, on your phones, wherever you are, we will be from here on out. What do we want?
Transit.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Transit.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Transit.
When do we want it?
Now.
Thank you. Thank you.